Hey, good evening, everybody. We're just going to give it just a few here. We're going to do a little bit of an extended live tonight. So I know I have not been live for a while here on Subby's Weather Talk. I've been trying to kind of help, I guess, limit the live streams for when we have some interesting weather to talk about, or something new, or severe weather, something in that regard. I know I've heard a lot of feedback from many of you as far as how nice it is just to have a forecast put up, something that they can glance at, take a look at, and then go about their day. Everybody is so busy. Sometimes they don't have a chance to sit down and watch a 15, 20, 30-minute live stream. So anyway, so I've been kind of limiting them mainly for the big events when we have lots of information to go over, in which we have a lot of information to go over tonight. So I thought I would go ahead and go live. And hi, Lucky. And then we'll kind of go into detail on our forecast this week. We started over the weekend our active stretch over the next 10 to 12 days. We're going to be really active here in the Midwest with storms, winter weather, cold weather, warm weather, you name it. We're going to be having it here in the good state of Missouri. So, hi, Eddie. What's going on, Alan? How are you, buddy? I'm just kind of finalizing a few things here. We'll let a few more people, make sure everybody's able to get in, and I'm going to check out the stream, make sure everybody can get in. So what you're looking at right now is Dayton looking off to the west, where we actually have some our thunderstorms. Everybody kept asking me today, well, where's our thunderstorms? Where's our thunderstorms? Well, they just need to be a little patient. That's kind of hard to do with farmers. But for a lot of us here in West Central Missouri, got an inch or better today. Those in Pettis County, Benton County, part of St. Clair County. So they got at least an inch, if not more, just today. But it seemed like that line of rain was kind of diagonal, skirting parts of Vernon County, St. Clair County, and of course Pettis and Benton County. But pretty much left Johnson, Henry, Bates, and Cass kind of in the dry. But we do have some thunderstorms that are leading on the edge of a cold front, and that's actually what you're looking at right now as we're in Dayton looking west. And Dayton is just west of Creighton in Cass County. So this is one of the cameras, thanks to Nader Boys, that we're able to utilize here in our room. And speaking of Nader Boys, man, we had a great time yesterday. Knew we wasn't going to be expecting any kind of severe weather here in West Central Missouri, so I jumped in with them, and we ended up down in central Oklahoma chasing after some storms. Got a couple of great videos. I think Isaac is going to be working on a kind of a time lapse to show the inflow going into a supercell. So that's going to be exciting. We went through the town of Waukeeta, Oklahoma. And for those that do not know what Waukeeta, Oklahoma is, that was Aunt Meg's hometown in the original movie Twister that came out several years ago. Of course, if you're passionate about the weather, you watch Twister. many a time like I have. So they have a second Twisters that's going to be coming out in June that is highly anticipated. Hopefully, was not too impressed with the trailer. Kind of the same plot where you've got a kind of a redneck, high-strung storm chaser, and I'm hoping the plot becomes a little bit more than what I seen in the trailer. But the special effects should be second to none, as most of all of the video in that movie was actually shot by storm chasers that they have edited and cropped and plugged into the movie. So the visual effects ought to be stunner. Oh, it was, Alan. I was pretty. I don't know what I was expecting really, but there's really nothing there. It was closed when we went by there, probably because it was on a Sunday, but they did have in their little strip, I guess they call downtown, there wasn't much there, but they did have a Twister museum. So I actually looked it up this morning before I went to work. Of course, we got in pretty late last night, but I looked at it, and it was they had some photos and stuff inside that was pretty cool. But I don't know if we really missed a whole lot there, but yeah, it was pretty sad. It was pretty sad. I was kind of maybe expecting more than what it was, and I think the Chamber of Commerce of that town really messed up not being able to make that one heck of a tourist attraction, considering how popular Twister was. But all right, guys, so let's just jump in because we've got tons of information. So again, we're looking off west at Dayton, which is in Cass County, and you notice there are some cumulus, some thunderhead, cumulonimbus. They're going to be very, very short topped. We're talking 18, 20,000 feet above our heads, but they could pack a little bit of a punch, as we are under a marginal threat for the possibility of seeing some stronger thunderstorms in this line along the cold front. And it is a powerhouse of a cold front. And we'll go into detail on that. So if you can imagine being in Dayton and you're looking to the west. So what we'll do now is I will show you radar. There's Dayton right here in the center of your screen, right where I've got it circled here. Let me do that. There's Dayton. Here's Creighton. Here's Highway 7. So if we look to the west, and we are starting to see some thunderstorms. That's what we just got done watching there on there from Nader Boy's view. So that's what the camera was picking up, are these isolated thunderstorms that are all the way stretched up and down the state line. Now, what we have to keep in mind, we are under a marginal threat. Some of these could contain some small hail, maybe some strong winds. And I'm going to zoom this out, and I'll show you guys why this is forming now. And because here, this blue line right here, that is the cold front. If you notice, we got some 60 building up here right along. It's pumping some of this warmer air from the south right up here. So we've got some 60 build up right here at the state line in west central Missouri. And then, of course, we got 40s and 30s behind that cold front. So that's the driving force of these thunderstorms that I'm going to be keeping a close eye. Now, I will tell you, they put some wording in there from the Storm Prediction Center that some of these storms might produce some funnel clouds. They're called cold air funnels. I won't get into the science of that, but because there is so much wind shear We went through this yesterday too, all the way out into Kansas and Oklahoma. But there's so much wind shear at all different levels of the atmosphere. It's coming out at at from the north and northeast, true north, east, west, south. These winds are coming from all directions out ahead of this front, and it's really churning up that wind field up there. Then it could create a few funnel clouds. Now, most of the time, they do not touch the ground. They don't do any damage, but it is something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on these cameras that we have posted throughout West Central Missouri for the possibility. So I kind of wanted to throw that out there. It's likely not going to happen, but I don't want somebody being looking out their back door across the field and see this little funnel going on out there. So they did put that wording in for us here in West Central Missouri. I don't expect these things to be any stronger than maybe some small pea-sized, nickel-sized hail. They might not even grow as we head into the end of the day. We might just see a good old-fashioned thunderstorm, but the possibility is there mainly because of all the wind shear that is around us. So I definitely want to make you guys aware of that as we go later on. Now, the best chance of any of that happening that I just talked about is going to be from about Kansas City and north. So in this area from Olathe, Green Valley, Harrisonville, this area up here is going to be closer to that low pressure system that's bringing in this cold front. So that is kind of the bullseye for some of this, if it does happen, for it to occur, is up there. But we will be keeping a close eye down here in West Central Missouri. Still not expecting a whole lot of rainfall out of this, guys. So maybe another tenth up to close to a quarter. If these things begin to kind of blossom out a little bit, once they hit that state line, we could be looking at maybe a few isolated heavier amounts. But looks like the bullseye is definitely going to be in our eastern counties of West Central Missouri. Let's just take a look at storm totals for today. And as you can see, we've got Benton County, inch and a half, the inch and 3/4 up here in parts of Pettis County, ½ inch to an inch. And southern St. Clair County, anywhere between ½ to 3/4 of an inch down there. Then, of course, once we get up here, we're only looking at, looks like I've got a total of 0.15 here at my weather station in Clinton, and that was last night and today. So anyway, of course, I don't think we got any rain here in Clinton today, but we could use the moisture. A lot of these farmers have got anhydrous and fertilizer out there on the field. They need a good rain to help kind of absorb that back into the ground, because it's not cheap. They don't want to have to redo it. So hopefully we'll get a nice little rain this evening to kind of help them out a little bit here in these 3 counties here in West Central Missouri. Take a look at chat here real quick. Oh, that's my sissy. All right, so let's take a look at what we can start to expect as we go through tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and switch that around. Let's bring this up. So this is the short-term model, the HRRR. And we'll put this into motion, and you'll start to see some of these thunderstorms begin to fill in right along the state line. Right here is your timestamp, 4 o'clock. Let's see if there's a newer one. Okay, so this one is done. So this is the latest one. This is the 5 o'clock one. So let's go ahead and put this. This is all that rain that comes through central Missouri that clipped Benton and Pettis and St. Clair counties. we'll put this into motion. There's 6, 7, and notice really by about 8 to 9 o'clock tonight, it's showing a pretty good line of thunderstorms that will be coming through west central Missouri. So that's what we'll be keeping an eye on. Now, once it gets out ahead of that cold front, notice how that line just kind of fizzles out as it goes into central Missouri. And then we'll be under the influence of much colder air on the back side of that. So put that into motion one more time. So again, that's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then it begins to fizzle out by the time it comes over here to Pettis and Benton County. But we'll be keeping a close eye on those storms for any strengthening. And again, we're in that marginal risk for severe storms that was put out by the Storm Prediction Center. So let's take a look a little bit further out than that. Let's look at the GFS model. And we'll do that way we can actually extend out a little bit further. So again, this is actually tonight at 7 o'clock. That's Z time. So that's actually Tuesday at midnight. Z time is 7 o'clock our time. So 7 o'clock we got that line of thunderstorms, of course, right along the state line, and notice all that cold air that's wrapping up behind it. Oh, I don't want to think about it. They're going to see 20s and 30s all the way down to near Corpus Christi, Texas in the morning. So let's put this into motion. And of course, you'll see it would not be surprising for us here in west central Missouri to see a few flakes in the morning. A little better chance once you get up to Kansas City. I don't know what the local forecasters up there from like 4, 5, and 9 are calling for, but I'd say they could get up to a dusting, if not maybe a little bit more. But around here in west central Missouri, I'd say we might see a few flakes flying in the morning. And then, of course, as we continue on in this very active period, once we get here toward the end of the month, 1st of April next week, we'll start to see more chances of rain here in Missouri right around the last day of the month. And then we have another powerhouse of a system that'll be moving in for the April Fool's Day and for the 2nd. Now this one here we could be looking at a very real severe threat for west central Missouri on Monday and Tuesday of next week. This is my focus point that I kind of have here over the next 3 or 4 days, is really following this storm system as it comes across, because it's in a little better. We're going to be much warmer. We're going to be in the 70s, much better moisture, and we've got another powerhouse cold front that's going to be trailing the backside of this thing. So definitely something I'll be keeping a close eye on. And of course, you can notice there's that snow on the backside, again targeting Kansas City, and points to the north with those snow bands as that comes across west central Missouri. And then as we go toward the end of this model run, then we have another big system coming in on Saturday and Sunday next week from this weekend. That could also be another huge setup for severe storms, as well as some winter precipitation on the back side of this thing. So man, we have got all kinds of going ons here in the state of Missouri. Let's jump up here. I do want to check. Let me look at chat here real quick. I don't want to forget those chatting. What's that? How is the wind supposed to be tomorrow? Well, tomorrow's gonna be a windy son of a gun. So we're not going to have those winds really start to die down until after sunset tomorrow night. So we're going to have about the same, you can expect the same winds as what we had today. So some gusting up to, look at my weather station here. It looks like the highest gust I had today was about 26 miles per hour. So that's about what we can expect tomorrow as this cold front comes through. Now remember, we're going to be dropping down to about freezing tonight, around 32, and we're only going to warm up tomorrow to around 40 degrees, maybe a degree or two warmer than that. Depends on how much sun we get. So, and then we'll be back down into the low 20s with a hard freeze Tuesday night. And then we'll start this rebound, and we might even hit 80 degrees on Friday, guys. Almost 80 on Friday. I'm telling you, I don't know why Golden Valley Hospital, every single bed is not full of sick people, because this weather is just, it's bonkers. It is just bonkers. And then of course after that high of 80, we're gonna have several days, like 3 days, with highs near 80, with the chance of thunderstorms. That's when that next system comes through. That's when we stand a better chance to see some severe storms. So I will definitely be updating much more frequently now that we're in this active stretch. Should we hide our eggs inside after church on Sunday? Don't think you're gonna have to worry about that. Cause see, right now, Alan, I've got a chance for some rain right now on Sunday, but we're gonna be up around 78 degrees on Sunday for Easter Sunday. So, I think we're gonna have really it's gonna be. We might be wet, but at least the temperatures are going to be a lot more comfortable than what it's been here over the last few days. And we were out there in Oklahoma chasing storms yesterday, and it was 55 degrees and 40-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, it's kind of hard to get motivated when you got the wind blowing like that, and you're cold and wearing a coat, and that you just don't expect to see any storms, but we did. But just kind of a weird pattern. You guys got to remember too, we're in March, so having snow in March is not uncommon at all. Having cold weather in March is not uncommon, and we haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg yet on any of our severe storm season, which typically here in West Central Missouri and the state of Missouri begins April 1st. Through the end of May. So, right now, the LRC, everything is pointing to a very active spring for April and May for us here in West Central Missouri as far as severe weather. And then it's showing up right here in the models where we've got two big powerhouse storms that's going to be beginning April with, as well as another big system that is really starting to raise some flags right around the 15th through the 21st. So we've got a lot more severe weather coming our way. Let's, real quick, guys, I want to take a look here at radar while we are talking. Because we've got a couple pretty good cells now. That's going to be coming in here around the Belton area. Here in Cass County. So this one right here has got some hail in it right now. We're going to take a look at, see if we got any velocity. I don't know why it's on those kind of colors. That was kind of weird. Not much showing up as far as velocity, so definitely keeping an eye on this one here. It's still on the Kansas side, but we'll be crossing here into Cass and into southern Jackson County here probably within the next, let's see how fast it's moving, 6:46. And it's moving north at 20. Let me put this into motion here. As we see this line of storm. So it does look like these cells are moving northeast, but the entire line is moving east, if that makes sense to you guys. So we've got all these storms are riding along that cold front moving north, but the line and the cold front itself is moving this way. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on these storms as they make their way here into West Central Missouri, and it does seem like they are getting a little stronger as they cross into the state line. So who knows, this forecast live stream might turn into a storm live stream. So I will keep an eye on that as we continue to talk about what we can expect. Cloudy with the chance of meatballs. That's gotta be my sis. Just taking a look here at the National Weather Service chat, seeing if they're saying anything right now here before we continue on, because I do have quite a bit more information here. Cloudy with the chance of meatball. Yeah, that was my sister. I should have known. So that was what we were going to be expecting here over the next few days, and I do have this posted in the room. I have been, based on this LRC, we haven't talked a whole lot about the LRC. Here within the next week or two is what they're saying now, that we will be able to have that global daily forecast for the next 10 months. And that's going to be available as corporate sponsors of the LRC. So I'm planning on doing a couple live streams a week with this interactive map up. So if you guys get your calendar out and have specific dates and locations anywhere around the world, I can utilize the LRC dashboard and give you an idea of if we're going to be seeing any rain, what the high temperature is, low temperature is, anywhere around the world, any given time for the next 10 months. So I'm going to do a couple live streams a week where I'll just kind of open it up, have the interactive map. You guys can tell me in chat maybe when your vacation is, maybe when you want to maybe do some planting, whatever it may be, and we'll just go through them a couple times a week. So that's pretty exciting. I'm ready for that to happen. But I also have a calendar based on the LRC that is up for the rest of March into the almost the end of April. So wherever you see gray is average temperatures. When you see blue, it's colder than average, and yellow is above average. So we're sitting here on the 25th, which, believe it or not, 60 degrees outside. That's average temperature for this time of year. But we have thunderstorms yesterday and today. Now this was based upon information from 5-6 months ago. So this was done up, and of course tomorrow being Tuesday, it's in the blue, means that it's going to be colder than average. And then we begin a warm up, and then this weekend we're going to get some more thunderstorms that we just looked at from a model. And then we really start to heat up, and then in the model again, we saw the third and the fourth, the second, third, fourth. This is when we're going to heat up during the day to near 80, and then have thunderstorms with the possibility of more thunderstorms the next day, much cooler temperatures, and the possibility of some snow flurries. And then we're going to, excuse me, please. And then we're going to start a gradual warm-up, couple chances of rain. And then we have this system right here that we are really kind of eyeballing right now. This is based on the LRC the models are picking this up as well. 14th and 15th, we could be into the 80s, mid 80s, thunderstorm, possibility of a severe outbreak, followed by our last freeze for 2024 right here. So for the winter of 23-24. That is what the LRC is kind of picking out right now, the 16th, 17th, the last freeze. We might get close a couple other days, but that right now is what the LRC is predicting to be our last freeze coming in around the 16th and 17th, and then we begin that transition back into springtime again. Take a look at radar here real quick. There are no warnings, there are no watches out for West Central Missouri, but and I don't think we are going to see any watches come out. Let me take a look at Storm Prediction Center, see if they have a mesoscale discussion for us, in which they do not. So right now it is not showing any kind of watch or anything that will likely be issued for West Central Missouri. We're just going to have to watch these cells for the possibility of some small hail, maybe a strong wind gust or two. And then again, I want to reiterate that because of all of this motion up in the upper atmosphere with wind coming out of all different directions, that there could be the possibility of seeing a couple of cold air funnels. Likely will not hit the ground, likely not be damaging, but you could see a very well defined funnel cloud. It is not going to be associated with a wall cloud. It will be coming right out of the cloud. So these things are typically very harmless, but it can really cause a lot of concern if somebody goes out in their backyard and sees one of them. Most likely area to see them is going to be from about St. Joe down through Cass and Bates County. Right in this area is the best chance to see it. But according to the short-term models, these storms are supposed to continue to strengthen as they move off to the east. So as you can see here, let's put this into motion, say over the last 21 frames, and we'll be able to see they are gaining in strength and forming a line as they come into West Central Missouri. So definitely something we're keeping an eye on here for the next few minutes. I'm going to stay live and kind of keep an eye on these storms. I also want to show you guys the Weather 2020 dashboard for the state of Missouri. And of course, we are corporate sponsors of the LRC. I have done up several portfolios for people, members of Subby's Weather Talk, that I have sent over on emails to them, kind of pinpointing the wet weeks, the dry weeks of the growing season, temperatures. This is all based upon our 30-year average that we can expect here in West Central Missouri. So all indications are showing well above average in precipitation and temperature. So it's looking like it's going to be a fantastic growing season. We just need to find out when would be a good time to put some seed into the ground. So we're take a look right here. We've got the average temperature versus average for this is going to be for the month of April. That's April 1st through April 30th. The average, we're going to be slightly above average here in West Central Missouri by a degree over the average temperature. So, and the high temperature chart, as you can see as we go into April, this red line right here is a 30-year average. The green is what the LRC is predicting for our area. So right around the middle of April, right before we have that cold snap, with the possibility of our last freeze, we are really going to go up well above average. And then we come crashing down. And that's when we see likely our last frost of 2023-24 winter. We go take a look at rainfall here in the state. So we have Vernon. Let's see here. We got that is Bates and Henry County. Looks like we are in the 130 to 140% above average. Well, actually 140% with 100% being average. So we're going to be 40 to 50% above average for Bates and Henry County. Cass County looks to be 40 to 50% above average in precipitation. And then we get over here to Johnson, Pettis, Benton, St. Clair, and Vernon counties, about 10 to 30% above average for the month of April. And then we go look over here. This is week by week. So first week, second week, third week, fourth week. First week, second week, third week, fourth week, and then we hit May. So it looks like that third week, right around the 20th or so, we're going to be 180% of precipitation for that week on average. So we can expect that to be a very wet week, the third week of April, and we're going to be about average for the first two, and about average for the last week. So really, that's going to be our that third week of May is we're really going to get some moisture, which would be great for the farmers as far as timing goes. And it's showing right now for Henry County, 6.1 inches is what it's predicting for Henry County, 5.8 for St. Clair. We've got 6.2 for Cass, 5.9 for Bates, Johnson 6.6, and Pettis for 6.5 inches of rain for the month. So this is just kind of a snapshot, guys, of what we can expect here over the next month, and I can actually go all the way out, to September if I want to. This thing is updated several times a day based on the LRC model. Most of the time, I have not seen much changes from day to day. Maybe some minor adjustments monthly. But it's a pretty stable model that they've been running. So I encourage you guys, if you guys have a purpose of maybe wanting to know what when the dry weeks are, when the wet weeks are, so on and so forth, shoot me a message. All I need is an email address, and I'll be happy to send over a portfolio for your area on what you can expect here over the next few months. So I definitely want to open that up to any of you guys that might be interested in something like this. I've already done several for people, and I do believe that they think it's very beneficial for them. And it's been mainly on the ag side, where they can see when the dry weeks are, when they might be able to get out and plant in April, when the last freeze will be, those type of questions that are very pertinent for the ag community. Let's see here. Do you think anyone can see the northern lights tonight due to the geometric? I think it's going to be very, very tough, because I don't think it's going to clear out where we see stars, and I think we're going to have overcast skies for most of the night. It's going to be really, really tough. Let's take a look at radar again, see what these storms, if they're doing anything. Just nothing severe, But and again, this is a broken line of thunderstorms. And then you can see how they're moving to the north and how they're being pushed. You see right here, these are individual cells, possibly little supercells. Let's see what I'm interested to see what the winds ought to be coming from a certain direction. Let me take a look at what the wind direction is. So yeah, we got you got southeast wind going here, and then you got southwest wind blowing behind this line. So with those winds coming from the west and southwest, you notice these little wispy clouds right here on each one of these cells. That's likely where you're seeing an anvil cloud, really wispy, real thin clouds that being the wind in the upper levels is actually pushing those clouds off. That's the reason why you see these little striations like that with all these little individual storms. I want to take a look at some cameras out there. And see if we can see anything maybe out of Dayton or maybe Creighton. Beautiful shot as the sun is getting ready to set. But you notice how these clouds are the wind is actually pushing those clouds up here off to the side. That's what you're actually seeing on radar is that wind pushing these real fine cirrus clouds with the wind, and that's why you see those little striations with those cells on radar. But we got looks like a rain shaft here and a rain shaft here, and again, they're not very high. These things are probably only 20,000 feet above our heads as far as they go up in comparison to a strong supercell. A severe storm will have clouds at 65,000 feet above our heads. So that when you hear anybody on 4, 5, or 9 on the forecast or meteorologists talk about low cloud top thunderstorms, that's what they're meaning. That even though they are thunderstorms, they're not very high, and that's typically due to lack of moisture. All right, guys. Anybody have any questions for me? Just kind of hanging out now for kind of watch this line of storms. Make sure none of them intensify as they cross into the state line. Hey, Lucky, are you still with the live stream? Lucky was having a little bit of a problem with getting notifications from YouTube on his tablet, and I'm kind of thinking that the main reason could be he had a big update on his tablet, and maybe some of his data might have been reset with YouTube. So yeah, Jordan, you ain't kidding. Crazy weather in Kansas, tornadoes yesterday, and today's snowstorms. I know. And did you by chance see that post? Let me see if I can bring it. This was crazy. We were actually out there at this time. See if I can find it, and I'll bring it over here real quick. So it's this one right here. So they issued a blizzard warning for northwest Kansas yesterday, and that was the leading edge of the system. The low pressure system was right here, right over just south of Imperial. So what happens, that's what they call a triple point. So you've got the dry line, you got a cold front, and you got the low pressure system. And they had a tornado warning actually in the same county that was under a blizzard warning. So crazy weather. That's what I'm saying. This weather pattern is, most of the time, anybody who's chasing, you can even ask the Nader boys, anybody who's chasing storms typically are not chasing with coats on, jeans, with the heater on. That just normally doesn't happen, and that was us yesterday. So very strange weather indeed. So if my sis is still on, she's getting ready to get hit with a pretty good thunderstorm in Kansas City, Kansas right now. Just some broad circulation. But definitely a pretty strong thunderstorm coming into Kansas City, Kansas. So, and again, these storms are moving north. They're riding along the state line. But this entire line and the cold front is slowly moving to the east. So, eventually these storms here are not going to... they're going to be moving over the same areas as they move to the east here into west central Missouri. My dog must have seen a butterfly. Where's my boy? Get him in here. Come here. Me and my dog doing the weather forecast. Well, hopefully some of you guys were able to follow our live stream on Nader Boys yesterday. Man, we had a good time doing it. We kind of used that, and again, we went out there for really the main purpose was trying to get, they've got new cameras, making sure that everything is hooking up correctly, and how, if they did a long stream, making sure that it was working properly. So, because, their main focus is going to be here in west central Missouri for April and May when we get some severe storms here in West Central Missouri, they're going to be the ones out there and kind of being our eyes on the ground while we're looking at radar. Great service that they're going to provide for us this storm season. So we want to make sure everything's in tip-top order. Make sure there's no surprises so that when we do get some storms here in West Central Missouri, they're ready to rock and roll. Of course, up here north in the Dakotas into Minnesota, they were having they got anywhere between a foot, 2 foot of snow. Blizzard warning still posted for Nebraska and South Dakota. Crazy. Take a look at these winds. Isn't that wild? You can definitely tell where the low pressure system is. Let's just clock these winds here. So you got winds coming this way, and then back over this way, and then this way, and this way. So we're right here is the low pressure system. You can definitely tell that by the direction of the wind. Now we're losing the heat of the sun. Temperatures are really kind of coming down a little bit. That might affect some of these storms. Notice we do have down here in Joplin, we have a special weather statement for down here in Joplin. They've got a pretty strong storm going through there right now. Wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour and pea-sized hail going on down in Joplin right now. It is, Alan, and I tell you, having Nader boys confirming what we see on radar, as well as having those camera angles to be able to see these storms as they move into West Central Missouri, it's gonna be fantastic. I'm really looking forward as we. I'm not looking forward to having any damaging severe storms, but I am looking forward with that partnership to be able to utilize them. And of course, just yesterday they gained 30, 40 more followers and subscribers yesterday. So they're happy as a lark getting some followers, and that it's a passion of theirs. They're not getting paid for this thing. They love the weather like I do and love to go out and chase storms. But yesterday was an opportunity that it was kind of last minute. I'm just so busy between kids and work and jobs that I don't get a chance to do it very often. But I was very thankful got to go out with them yesterday. They're very, very professional gentlemen. I can tell you that. They know what they're doing. Is Larry City going to see any of this weather? Well, it's going to be a little bit of time, but I do believe that you'll likely see some of this weather coming up here as soon as this cold front continues to move to the east, where these storms are moving to the north. And so these storms down here in Joplin, they're heading to the north as well. So here, it's going to take a little while for the cold front, for this line to move to the east. But when it does, we can expect a pretty solid line of some pretty robust thunderstorms, and they'll be traveling over the same areas as they move north. So hopefully you get a little bit of rainfall. Are we done with snow? I don't think so, Jordan. And again, it kind of like I mentioned before, we might actually see a few flakes flying around in the air in the morning, and then we've got actually three more opportunities by around the 15th of April to see some snow. And I actually, any one of those three could bring 1, 2, 3 inches of snow along with it. This time of year, it's kind of hard to get 1, 2, or 3 inches of snow, but we're definitely going to have some chances. Let's take a look at the. This is one of the software programs that I use, Weatherbell, and they have a update every 15 minutes on short-term radar, which is phenomenal. So let's go with the 6 o'clock. Yeah, let's go with that one. Let's see what it's showing. Of course, we got some of these little cells along state line moving to the north. We put this into motion. Yeah, you see right around the 7 to 8 o'clock time frame. As that cold front moves across here, boy, it really starts to fire up here in the next hour as these storms moving to the north, but the line moving to the east. And look like they really kind of maxed out their intensity around the 9 o'clock hour, and then they begin to fade off as they get away from that jet stream that's allowing them to grow in intensity. And then we might have a shot for a shower or two throughout the night as this low pressure system moves off to the east. You can actually see the circulation of that low pressure system when I put this into motion. You guys see how that's circulating counterclockwise? And then it will move on to the east and be out of our hair for the rest of the night. So what I'm hoping, to do is let me see if I still had that up. Did I still have that up? Yeah, I still got that up. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Beautiful looking sunset here. And this is looking west at that line of storms from Dayton. Beautiful sunset. But my goal is going to be where we'll have radar up, watching storms as they come into our area, and then also have the ability to, let me turn this on, be able to watch the storms as they come in on the screen, as well as radar, so we can compare the two. So let's get over here to Dayton. So here's Dayton, looking off to the west this way, and that's what you're seeing in the horizon. So that is how I am going to utilize as we go into storm season, so we can actually see what's going on in front of us as before it comes into West Central Missouri, as well as being able to look at radar and be able to see what's going on from the radar perspective. So what this is going to allow us to do is be able to pick out any rotation, to be able to find wall clouds. Take a look how far we are away from that line of storms right now. Let me jump back over here. So what you're looking at in Dayton is about right here. You're looking at the storms in that upper right hand corner out here on the west. They haven't even made it to the state line yet. And if we're able to sit there and see a wall cloud or a shelf cloud with some strong straight line winds, we'll be able to pick them out and be able to warn those at Archie, Adrian, in Bates County that we are picking up a wall cloud well ahead of any warnings that might be issued for Bates County. So that is exactly what we are hoping for as we go into this storm season, and being able to utilize both these live camera angles as well as Nader boys out there in the field that I'm going to be able to post up here in the upper right hand corner their live feed wherever they may be, as well as radar, so that we can compare the two. And the sole purpose of that is to be able to give a little bit more of a warning when they're threatening weather coming into any one of our counties before even the National Weather Service issues a warning. I would much rather, they have a lot of heat, they catch a lot of heat, they've got a lot of responsibility at the National Weather Service, and I know they do. They catch a lot of heat for issuing warnings when there was no need to, cutting in TV during a football game or a basketball game, and that never happens. Well, I don't really sympathize with those people that complain about that, because if I'm able to give, in this case, if this was a severe warned storm, and we're looking at this, we're looking at right here, we're looking right here, and say that was a wall cloud, and it's not even at the state line right now, and I can sit there and tell Archie, Adrian, and people in Bates County that we are looking at a wall cloud. Don't freak out, but you may want to go ahead and take your safety precautions over the next 30 minutes. Gather up the kids, put your shoes on, go ahead until this storm has passed. It might not drop a tornado, and that's fine, but I'd much rather get the warning out there. I can't force you to go to the basement. I can't force you not going out to your front porch and looking at the nadir, like most Missouri people do. I can't force you, but what I can do is give you an opportunity to be informed, and then it's up to you if you want to take those precautions. And if you want to yell at me because I told you to go in the basement and nothing happened, then go for it. But I do believe that that's very, very important until we can do enough research on tornadoes, straight line winds, where we can give a 30, 45, an hour time frame to warn people. Until that research is completed and done, and we have an ample warning system, this is definitely one of the reasons why I continue with Subby Weather Talk. So, but yeah, very exciting what we got coming down here over the next 8 to 10 weeks during severe storm season. So again, we're looking from Dayton, looking off to the west, We are actually looking at this particular cell right here. That is where you are seeing this rain shaft right here in the upper right hand corner in that photo of the sunset. So that's this cell right here. The cell that's behind it, a little darker red, is what you're seeing right here. So just a beautiful shot. Beautiful sunset. We'll take that off. Take a look at these storms here. Pretty intense line of storms going through Smithville right now. Maybe some small pea-sized hail. Have a uncle that lives up there that has a music store and a music business. Very successful up there in Smithville. Probably giving some lessons tonight up there in Smithville. So they're hearing some natural drums up there in Smithville. We'll put this in motion so you guys can continue to see. And again, most of these storms are all moving north, northeast. But this entire line, this is your cold front. This entire line is moving this way. But the individual storms are actually moving to the north. So once this cold front gets encroached here in west central Missouri, we will see these thunderstorms coming up from the south, moving north through our counties. So here in Cass County, this little cell here be moving into Cass County here very, very soon. And again, just some moderate rain. Don't even look like I'm not even getting any lightning indicators, and I haven't seen any lightning on our live cams either. So they're not very electrified, mainly because we're in the mid 50s right now. So it's not very electrified storm. So just some small hail, maybe a gusty wind, and some moderate rain associated with these storms. So again, hey, in the morning, make sure you got kids. Make sure you guys bundle them up in the morning. Don't send them out in shorts and a t-shirt tomorrow. It will be an eye-opener when you open up that door in the morning. It's going to be cold. It's going to be even colder on Wednesday morning as we get into the mid-20s with a hard freeze. So make sure that you bundle up your plants If you have any outdoor flowers or plants or anything else that is growing outside, make sure they're protected, both tonight and tomorrow night. Seen a couple people just joined on YouTube. Just want to let you guys know that we're not under any kind of watch. We are watching this line of storms that is actually the entire line moving to the east. The cells are moving to the north. Eventually, this line will make its way into west central Missouri. We do have a potential to see some small hail, maybe a little gust of wind with these, and some moderate rainfall. They'll likely be training over the same areas. So really for about the next 2 hours or so before this will finally move completely off to the east, and will definitely lose its punch. So we're looking at a live shot there on the upper right hand corner of your screen. Out of Cass County, out of Dayton, looking to the west. It's looking at this line of storms right here. Is what you're seeing over on your right. So we're just kind of watching their low top thunderstorms. Could be producing some small hail and some pretty moderate rain. Right here is the strong part of that cell. And then back here on the back side also. We took a look at the LRC. This is the LRC calendar. And today is the 25th, which is... Let me take the display off there. So today is the 25th of March, which is day number 36 of the LRC cycle. Day 36. We're almost, next week we'll be going into cycle number 4 of this year's LRC. And it's actually right on track, guys. I mean, you know, this calendar that you see up here was based upon all the storm systems that have come through November, December, January. This is just what the LRC is showing when they are going to cycle back through. And it's spot on. I mean, Gary uses that phrase all the time as far as you can't make this up. You can't. The upper level air maps at 18,000 feet and 20,000 feet above our heads are almost identical from about 45 days apart. That is the cycle, is 45, 46 days apart. It is just incredible. So, as you can see, we've got, this is the 25th. So, yesterday and today, and again, this was set up months ago that we were going to be about average temperatures, which we have been. It's been cooler, but it's been average. with thunderstorms. Tomorrow being in the blue, meaning below average temperature. That's exactly what we're expecting tomorrow. And then, of course, we'll be, our focal points is going to be the storm system here on April 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And then another big system coming in the 14th, 15th through the 18th, in which we will likely have our last freeze of the 2023-2024 winter around the 16th, 17th of April. Okay, all right, sis. Yeah, I'll be sure I'll be looking for you. This cell's getting pretty good size. Be crossing over into Cass County. All right, guys. So I tell you what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to get off of here and I'm going to go make me some dinner. I'm going to be keeping an eye on radar here over the next couple hours. And if we should happen to get a special weather statement and or severe thunderstorm warning, or if anything looks suspicious, I will definitely jump right back on live again, and we will talk about what we're seeing. And I will be posting an updated forecast on for the rest of this week, likely tomorrow night. I will have a week forecast so you guys can do a little planning as we get closer to the weekend. So I'll be updating all that tomorrow night. So in case I don't see you guys tonight, if these just end up being regular old thunderstorms, you'll likely not hear from me the rest of the night. But rest assured, I will be here in my own little weather station right here in Clinton, and I'll be keeping an eye on radar and updating you guys of any potential weather hazards in our counties here in West Central Missouri. So enjoy the rest of the night. Make sure you bundle up tomorrow. We could see some snowflakes flying around in the morning, so make sure you bundle up the kids, dress warmly tomorrow morning. You'll definitely feel it. We're only going to have a high of 40 degrees, maybe a couple degrees warmer than that, depending on how much sunshine we get. But it is going to be cold and blustery for the day tomorrow. Be winds about 25 miles an hour out of the north. So it's going to be cold. So, and if you guys have any questions, or if you're interested in getting a portfolio of the LRC on what to expect over the next few months, as far as wet weeks, dry weeks, temperatures, anything like that, make sure you message me. I'll be happy to email those over to you. So everybody have a great night. We'll be talking to you soon.